So I wasn't going to talk about this. I felt like it was just kind of out of my wheelhouse simply because of how often it happens. But I kept seeing the response to it, and that made me feel compelled to say something simply because the reaction to what happened is a bit off kilter in my opinion. So over the weekend, the rapper Takeoff from the Migos rap group, he died. He got shot in Houston, I believe, over, I don't even know what they said. It was over like some dice game or something like that, right? Something small, which is bizarre to me, but it's not surprising. And I keep seeing people talk about how a lot of the issues we see in the black community in regards to things like shootings and crime and X, Y, and Z is due to the socioeconomic state of our community. And that's been the response that I have seen to this, as well as like the 14 other deaths from rappers that I have seen that have been reported in the past like 3 or 4 years, ranging from XXX to Juice World to Mac Miller. Even though he's not black, he's still in that world, so to speak. Pop Smoke, King Von, Nipsey Hussle, and now Takeoff, right? And a whole bunch of other ones. That has been the response that I have seen. And in my opinion, that abstains us from responsibility, right? Like we have no real say so in all of these shootings and killings and the issues in our community because it's the white man's fault, right? It's the white man's fault that we're here. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that the 20th century didn't have anything to do with how black neighborhoods are now and how black culture is today, right? Culture isn't just something that we wake up and say, hey, this is the stuff that we want to celebrate or that we want to tolerate. A lot of it is put on us based on our surroundings. But if you continue to harp on that, that is a cop out, and that abstains us from responsibility in regards to these things continuing to happen. Right? I just said that I feel desensitized to these things, right? These rappers being shot and killed because it feels like it happens so often. Right? People are a little shocked by this one because the rapper who died, he was real, at least to us, he was real quiet and off to himself. He just kind of did what he needed to do and then stayed out the way, at least to our knowledge, right? There wasn't any article or report that ever came out that I saw of him being in some beef with a rapper or something like that. But that's just as far as we know. We don't know what these guys do, so we don't know the people that they get into it with, and it just don't make the headlines. But I take issue with people saying that this is just a socioeconomic issue and that it is basically going to keep happening unless the white man does something, unless the white man stops being so racist to us, and there's nothing that we can do about it until then. I take issue with that because we as a community in the 21st century, in 2022, we are free enough and we are coherent enough and aware enough to know what our culture is and what it is doing to our community, right? And I use the term free loosely because I still think that a lot of us are enslaved mentally and economically, but that's a different story. We are not physically bound, right? We do not have chains on our wrists. We're not locked in a basement. We're not on a plantation.
Chain them up in my basement and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle.
And there are no laws that say as a black person, we can't do things that white people can't do. So we are aware enough. We are coherent enough to know what our culture is and what it's doing to our community. And our culture is one that tolerates, regardless of how it came to be. Our culture tolerates violence, gangs, drugs, money, having multiple women, women using men for their money and then ditching them, perversion, disrespect, and so much other stuff, right? And there are good things about our culture. Don't take this as me just sitting here and bashing black people because, I just have nothing better to do. No, there are great things about our culture. The reason why I talk about this is because this is the staple. This is the poster child for black culture. When you think of black culture, at least for me and a lot of other people, the thing that comes to mind is our music and our entertainment, and specifically our rap music. And in our music, it talks about guns and F the police and drugs and all this stuff like that. For the women in their music, they're exposing themselves, degrading their bodies, talking about how they don't need a man or they just need a man for his money. All of these things. And guess whose ears it's falling on? hours, right? I know white people listen to music as well, rap music as well. But if you look at the consumers, the primary consumers in this country, it is black people. Despite the fact that we make up 13% of the population. That's why Marc Jacobs won't put himself on an advertisement, but he'll go get Lil Durk and dress him head to toe in Marc Jacobs so that it's marketed to us. Because he knows that we're going to buy it. He doesn't care that he's giving up $250,000 for an ad because he's going to make that back tenfold in, let's say, a couple of days. And Lil Durk doesn't care that we're going to get paid and then go spend our hard-earned money on the white man that we believe is so racist. We're going to go spend our money on him. Lil Durk doesn't care because guess what? He just got paid $250,000 and he's going on a vacation. But the staple of our culture is problematic. So this stuff happening, it's unfortunate. But like I said, the fact that I've become desensitized to it, it is sad because honestly, the more that we tolerate this stuff, the more it will continue to happen. A lot of these rappers, they live by the sword and they die by the sword, so to speak, right? The stuff that they rap about, a lot of it is how they go out, which is very ironic considering the fact that a lot of these rappers are not living the same life, at least in the same regard, based on what they're rapping about. I can't blame a dude or a girl for rapping about their experiences with gangs and drugs and money and guns when they're coming up because that's all they know. And they're just trying to get some money. They're trying to feed their families. So I can't knock them for that, even though it still sucks the fact that that's the route that they feel like they have to go. If that's all you know, I mean, I can't really fault you for that. But once these rappers make it, right? Once they make it, they can't get over the money, right? So they're going to continue to rap about all of these bad things. Their videos will continue to be in rundown neighborhoods. Guess what? They live in a white neighborhood that's gated. They send their kids to private school, yet they're still trying to put on this front to the black community, and especially the kids who are very impressionable, that this is the lifestyle that they're living, and it's cool, right? And guess what? These kids are going to eat it up. You want to know why? Is because in the black community, at least just look over the past 10 years, our single parent household rate has been higher than any other community in this country compared to our population size, meaning that kids are growing up without real deal role models. So they're looking to the leaders within the black community, which there really are none. A lot of them are frauds who paint themselves as leaders, but that's who they look to, right? Because they know no better. They're just trying to look for someone to inspire them because they don't get that at home. And once they're inspired, they feel compelled to go that route themselves, to become a rapper or an entertainer, rise up the ranks, and then rap about the exact same stuff. Probably in a world in which their favorite rapper has now passed because he or she was a victim of gun violence or drug abuse or drug overdose or whatever the case may be. And it's unfortunate because people think that this stuff is entertainment. No, man, this stuff is speaking to us. I saw this tweet from this one girl saying that a rap video never made her want to go pick up a gun and go shoot somebody. Well, number one, that's you, right? That's fantastic that you've never wanted to go do that. But you can't speak for all the other black kids and teenagers and young adults who thought that that stuff was cool or compelling or felt like that was their only way out and decided that that's what they wanted or needed to do, right? So you do not equate to the entire black community. So fantastic, that's good for you, but that's not a justification for us continuing to tolerate this stuff. And number two, because she was a girl, the stuff that Young Boy raps about or Lil Durk or the Migos rap about, that's not catered to her, right? Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, right? Talking about how you don't need a man or you just need a man for his money or exposing yourself. They are catering that stuff to her. I guarantee you if you go in that girl's closet, she's got clothes that expose herself as much as she possibly can without getting arrested for mooning somebody. And once again, that has been pawned off to us as entertainment so we can keep consuming it, so we can keep buying it, buying the records and listening to them, right? Getting these streams up. That's why it's pawned off to us as entertainment. But it is insane the fact that the things that have been used to degrade us as a community, we have adopted into our culture as a form of empowerment, right? So female rappers calling each other the B word or exposing themselves or displaying perversion and then showing it off to little girls or teenagers or young women, to them that's empowerment, despite the fact that that is all derogatory in an objective sense. But we think it's empowerment. We think that emboldens us. For the guys looking to die by your respect, somebody comes at you wrong and they're saying something, right? You feel like it's your duty to die potentially, right, for your respect. Really? Instead of just brushing that stuff off and going home alive, you think that that's cool, right? And now all these impressionable kids and teenagers, young adults, they see that, they think that that stuff is cool. Being called a nigga, that's derogatory. Yet we have taken the word and we have adopted it. And now it is empowerment to us, right? Which is, it is so sad because as a community, not everybody, but in the general sense, the things that have been degrading to us, we don't even have a high level of self-respect for ourselves to toss those to the side and adopt things that are actually empowering to us, right? That actually make us feel good about ourselves and that portray us as much greater than what the rest of the world thinks. Because guess what? You think that calling each other niggas is taking back the power? You go outside that door, I go outside that door, it's going to be a whole bunch of people that see us as that, niggas. But if they do it, it's wrong. We say it, and, you know, that's just us talking. That's just banter. It's a term of endearment. Get out of here, bro. It's derogatory. But we have been tricked into thinking that this stuff is cool and that it's empowering and that it's pushing us forward. It's holding us back. And it's evident because Black lives only matter when white people come after us. I ain't never seen somebody degrade a Black life more than another Black person. In the 21st century, at least. Don't get on my case about what happened in the past. I get that. But in the 21st century, where we are technically free, I have never seen somebody degrade a Black person more than another Black person. That disrespect them by calling them out of their name, all the way up to killing them over a dice game.
Yo, can I spit some bars for you real quick?
If we want the tide to change, we got to acknowledge that our culture, a lot of aspects of it are detrimental to us, right? We can love certain aspects of it. We could love the food and the hairstyles and the clothes and all that stuff like that, right? But the staple for us is the problem. And if we keep being tricked into thinking that this stuff is entertainment, you want to say that the white man's holding you down. Guess what? Every single time you buy a record of one of these rappers or stream their music, you think that you're supporting them. No, their record label is owned by a white person. Chances are they are signed to the white man. You are paying the white man, and the rapper is the middleman, so to speak. So you are just kind of stuck in this weird hypocritical cycle where the white man's holding me down, yet I'm going to go buy some Marc Jacobs, and I'm going to go listen to my favorite rapper and buy his album or buy her album because I think I'm supporting them. My favorite rapper, he or she was on a Marc Jacobs advertisement, so I buy Marc Jacobs and I'm supporting them. I listen to their music and I'm supporting them. Now, you can do that all day, but please don't follow it up with the white man's holding me down. The white man's holding us down. Well, I mean, if you looked in the mirror every once in a while, you'd see the person who's helping the white man continue to stay rich. So we have to change the tide. We have to acknowledge that our culture, the staple for our culture, which is our music and our entertainment, is problematic. And these Black leaders who are not involved in music, they're not going to call it out either, which means that they're not leaders. They are frauds as well. A lot of these athletes, they will bump this music, rest in peace, Takeoff, and then they'll go bump the next rapper's music. Martin Luther LeBron James Jr. just posted a picture on Instagram of him dressing up like Takeoff to, I guess, honor him or whatever. Something happens to the next rapper, he's going to do the exact same thing. What LeBron won't do, because he's getting paid and he's got to form these relationships so that he can have people come on his show, as he's not going to be like, man, this stuff is detrimental to us, right? The stuff that goes in our ears and it seeps into our soul is not helping us at all. In fact, it's hurting us because this stuff keeps happening. Rest in peace to Takeoff. It is unfortunate that that happened, but we got to change this stuff, man. We have to. Because I don't know about you, but I want to wake up in 50 years and still see a black person or two kicking with no plans of going out anytime soon.